Testing 1, 2, 3, folks. I think you should be able to hear me. We're going to be starting in just a minute. About 60 seconds and we will get this broadcast started. Hope y'all are excited for a static fire Booster 9 today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We're going to get started here in 1 minute. Alright, so you can see the cams now. Let me do one final mic check. Yeah, we look like we are good. It's gonna take a couple seconds for me to know if I'm actually in frame here, but welcome everybody. My name is Andrew and this is Rocket Future. We're down here on the southern tip of South Padre Island, just about as south as you can get on the Gulf Coast of Texas. And we have live views of SpaceX's Starbase about 5 miles from our location here. You can see on the left-hand side of the screen, Booster 9 is on the pad. And you can start to see some venting happen from the tank farm. Looks like my framing is good here. So some venting from the tank farm, which is what we've been waiting to see today, specifically venting from the OLM, which means they're starting to chill down the lines that go to the OLM, or they have chilled down the lines that are going to the OLM. So this process takes a little bit of time as well. But then once we start to see that process die down, we would actually expect to see these plumes of that white vapor get a lot bigger during the real chill down portion of the process. So once we see it get really big, and then once we start seeing that venting stop, that's when we know to start looking out for them filling the vehicle with liquid oxygen and methane. So we still have a little bit of time here until this thing gets started, but everything is looking like it is progressing as it should be at this point, which is great. So they definitely had a late start today. They had to send a crew to the pad to check out some stuff with the ground support equipment, but it looks like they were able to get that resolved, which is great. So there's still like 7.5 hours left in the window for today, so plenty of time for them to get the static fire off. So welcome in everybody. I'm going to bring you full screen on the camera, and I'll check in with chat and see how y'all are doing. All right, let's see who we got here. We have the Space Junkie community is here in numbers, strong. Thank you very, very much. Welcome everybody. Zoltan, Horvath, ZTN, Andras, Janos, Caitlin, Andy M, Andre, Denny's. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Ambrose, Kismano. So many of y'all. Thank you very much for being here. Ryan is in chat. Welcome, Ryan. Ryan says, "What's up, man? New merch looks fire." Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm wearing the synthwave inspired shirt today. El Hungaro says we are doing well. Very good to hear. Very good to hear. So as you can see, I'm gonna try to make some minor adjustments on our camera here, but it is a little bit fuzzy and hazy, and that is due to the heat distortion that we're seeing here today. But this should be a beautiful view of the static fire when it happens. Even though it's a bit hazy, it's going to be quite the shot. I will try to adjust focus a little bit, but it looks like we're probably focused in as much as we can. El Hungaro is here. Welcome everybody. So yeah, it's 12:34 p.m. Central Time now. This window goes until 8 p.m. But I would expect to start seeing signs of prop load within the hour. That's what I would hope to see at least. So sit back, relax, and enjoy these live views. We're gonna keep this going until the static fire today. I have a couple things to do behind the scenes here to finish just getting everything set up and configured. So give me a few moments to do that. I'll keep my eye on chat in the meantime, and I'll probably put some more sunblock on too. So just give me a few minutes here, folks. Todd with the High Bay membership. Welcome, Todd. Thank you so much for being a member of our channel. Todd says, thank you for streaming today. Let's see some fire. Couldn't agree more. Let's hope we see a great static fire here today. In a little bit, folks, I can talk about what this test here today means as far as in preparation for launch and when we could see a launch and all that type of stuff. I'll get into that shortly. I'm just going to keep just finishing setting stuff up in the background here in the meantime. El Hungaro is asking if it's going to be all 33 engine static fire, and we don't exactly know for sure quite yet, but I will say that they generally speaking tend to like to static fire the same amount of engines that they do on the spin prime test. And of course that spin prime test happened just a couple days ago, and it looked like a ton of engines. I don't know if it was all 33, but it very well might have been. Either way, I think we're going to see a few engines at least, if not maybe a full set today. And we should see it interact with the water deluge system today for the first time. I'll talk a little bit more about that shortly as well. But that's going to make for a very different looking static fire this time around, folks. Alright, I think I've mostly got everything situated here. So yeah, let me jump back in front of the camera here. We can talk a little bit about what this test means for the future of Starship here. So, I'm going to bring up my stream again so I can check framing. So yeah, so booster 9 is what we're looking at here on the pad today. Of course, this is the booster that we expect to see. I got some music coming in. I hope they shut that off. The booster 9 is the vehicle they expect to lift Ship 25 up on its next flight. So we're gonna hope that this static fire goes well, and if it does, they may be considering booster 7 kind of check, ready to fly. Or there could be some things that they find that they need to change. Maybe they need to swap some Raptor engines or stuff. But it really depends on how well the test goes today. But let's say that this static fire test goes exceptionally well and everything looks great. Well, the next thing that we need to learn about is the new hot stage adapter that goes between the booster and the ship. That is also undergoing testing sometime in the next couple days. And if that testing goes well, then I think we're starting to talk about a real short time frame to get the hot stage adapter attached and to see Ship 25 stacked on top of booster 9. So like I said, if today goes well and the hot staging adapter tests go well, we could see a full stack really any time after that. So after that, I think SpaceX would probably be fairly ready for launch. So booster 9 would be good to go. Ship 25 would be good to go. Hot stage adapter installed. I'm sure that they're going to put it up on the OLM, and they'll probably do a full wet dress rehearsal, just like we saw before the launch on 420. Now, at that point, I think they are 2 thumbs up and ready to go, but of course we know it's not that easy. There are some other outstanding things that SpaceX needs to do, and some stuff that is not really in SpaceX's control. For example, they need to submit some paperwork regarding the last flight and anything that they're doing, to any changes that they're making, and they have to go through and get their license reactivated and all that good stuff. So I think they still have to submit some documentation on the last launch for the FAA to reactivate the license, and then at that point they really are kind of ready to go. But we just don't really know how long that's going to take. It definitely might take some time, but we're going to have our fingers crossed and hope that thing comes together really quickly, because if it doesn't, we might get into a position where SpaceX is ready, but there's some paperwork and stuff that is not. So hopefully that is not the case. We want to see this program continue to develop, but we want to see it continue to develop safely and effectively. So a lot of that paperwork and all that stuff that's outstanding is necessary, and it does make sense that it needs to be done. But let's just hope that they can do it rapidly. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to whenever Booster 9 Ship 25 launches. I'm thinking that the chances of success are a lot higher. I don't know if it's going to be a completely successful launch or a full mission profile even. But if it was to get up and over the Gulf and make it to staging, and we see the engines ignite on Starship, and it makes it some ways out, I'd be happy with that result, and that would be a huge step forward since the last launch. So here we are, beautiful day here at Isla Blanca Park. It's hot for sure, and the sun is beating down, so I'm gonna definitely be in and out of the Jeep, just making sure I'm staying cool while I'm out here. But this is exciting. I'm glad y'all are here to do this with me. I'm also pretty tired. I was out at Starbase last night for the the Ship 25 rollback to the Rocket Garden. And long story short, I didn't really get much sleep, and the sleep that I did get wasn't of major quality. But right before this stream, I did get maybe a 20-minute nap before we started the stream in the Jeep here. So I'm gonna do the best I can to keep with y'all here and keep up the commentary. But in the meantime, I'll switch you back to the full view of Booster 9, and we'll start looking for those indications that they're continuing forward with the testing. It does look like there's a lot of venting. That's the word I'm looking for. Venting coming from GSE and potentially the pad itself. So again, very good indication that we are moving forward. El Hungaro with the super chat. Thank you very much. Or the super sticker. Thank you very much, El Hungaro. That means a lot. Appreciate that very much. RGB Ariel is in chat. Welcome, RGB Ariel. Good to see you in here. Very much appreciated that you're stopping by the stream today. Exclamation point RGV in chat. That should work. And as Nightbot says, don't forget to like, subscribe, chat, and share. Especially towards the beginning of a broadcast. Doing those things will help the stream get recommended to more folks. At least that's how we think the YouTube algorithm works. So that would go a long way if you were to help us by liking and commenting and sharing and all that good stuff. So thank you very much in advance for that. Isla Blanca Park is it's pretty busy today. It's not the busiest I've ever seen it by any means, but it's busy. People are definitely enjoying the summer weather down here, and a lot of fishing going on. Jimatech says, hi, how does my mic work? Andrew, it's fine. Everything seems to be working great, Jimatech. I got Audition open. I ran a couple test files, and it seems to be recording well. I made sure all the configuration was set up. I think I can bring it into OBS as well, which we can try. I'll switch it over, and we'll see how it sounds. Give me a second. Can y'all hear that helicopter? How does it sound? Testing. All right, switching back to the regular mic for now. So, folks, we are testing a new mic sent to us by the Space Junkie community and Jimatech. This is a very, very fancy mic. Would I be correct in saying that it's a binaural mic, Jimatech? But it's really fancy looking. I'll have to show you all a picture of that in a little bit. But Jimatech actually made this, and we're really excited to use it and see what kind of really, really awesome recordings we can get of static fires and those types of things as well for the Space Junkie community. Do I think Deluxe is going to be tested? Deluge, do you mean? If so, I definitely think Deluge is going to be involved in today's static fire. Unless you mean something else, Aiden. Let me know if I am not talking about the right thing. And Jimatech, am I pronouncing your name correctly as well? I just want to make sure. Yeah, Aiden, I definitely think Deluge will be used today. Which, when this static fire goes off, the amount of steam we're going to see is going to be really impressive, I think. So let's wait for that. That'll be cool. No problem, Janos or Janos. No, my pleasure. My pleasure. If y'all are tuning in on a platform that is not YouTube, you might be kind of confused on who I'm talking to, but I'm talking to my YouTube live chat right now. So if you want to get involved in our live chat, come on over to YouTube. You will find us at Rocket Future. But if you're watching on another platform, I welcome you to hang out on that platform as well. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you stopping by. And I wanted to bring you this stream not only on YouTube, but on other platforms as well for those folks that don't necessarily use YouTube all the time. Aiden C says the waterfall is going now. That is a good indication. What Aiden means is the vent that comes out of the OLM goes into what we call waterfall mode, which means just dumping and dumping and dumping this vapor. And generally speaking, we see that go for a little bit of time. And then when that stops, that's when we start to see them fuel up the booster. So this is great. Aiden C is watching on YouTube. Thank you for watching on YouTube, Aiden. More folks stopping in from the Space Junkie community. Welcome everybody, especially those from international. You know, I get some U.S. viewers here, but it's really cool to see folks from Hungary and from England and from all over the place. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know where you're watching from, what country or what part of the United States. It's really cool to know kind of where people are tuning in from. And somebody put !junkie in chat as well to learn more about the Space Junkie team and channel. Oh, Aiden's watching from Manchester, New Hampshire. I used to live in Massachusetts. I've been to Manchester many times. Nick is saying that they think it's going to be 33 engines. I hope so. That'd be cool. today, but it'll be a lot of flames and noise. They don't have an exact time, but probably sometime in the next hour, an hour and a half. It could be quicker, it could be longer, don't really know.
We can hear it?
Yeah, it takes about 20 seconds for the sound to hit, but you can hear it, yeah.
Is there like a little site where I can go to where I can get the time?
Nobody really knows the time except for internally, but there's a bunch of channels that are streaming it, including mine, so you can always check on that as well.
What is it?
My channel is called Rocket Future.
Say it again.
Rocket Future.
RocketFuture.com.
Yeah, or just go to YouTube, Rocket Future. RocketFuture.org, actually, for anybody wondering. NSF thinks that's 33. I think so too. Space Girl Falcon with the super chat says, "Thank you for the stream, Andrew. No problem. Thank you for stopping in, Space Girl Falcon. I hope you're feeling all right this morning. I had a rough morning." Vran is in chat asking when will it start. We don't quite know yet, but everything is heading in the right direction. Might be in the next hour. Could be a little more. We just are not too sure yet. We will get kind of more indications that we're getting closer when we start to see fuel get loaded into the vehicle. And then hopefully we'll hear from the community about a 10-minute siren. So we should have about a 10-minute heads up before this thing actually happens, but sometimes we don't always get that notification. So Aiden is watching NSF and me. Very good, very good. I do encourage folks to not just stick with one stream. Definitely bring up multiple streams. Check out everybody else's perspectives. Not only visually check out their different visual perspectives, but I think everybody has a little bit different of a thought on what's going on here and how Starship could impact us as a species and all that good stuff. So I really encourage people to check out multiple channels at once and see everybody's excitement and enjoyment when we have these big types of tests. So very good. Lots and lots of vapor down there at the base of the OLM and in the orbital tank farm. El Hungaro says it'll fire just when Vran falls asleep. Definitely, definitely. I did zoom out a little bit. I can zoom back in, but I don't think with the heat distortion that we are seeing here today, I don't necessarily think we need to be zooming all the way in. It doesn't look as good, and this gives us a little bit more context. So I'm staying a little bit zoomed out, but if y'all think I should zoom back in, let me know. All right, for those who are not familiar, let's talk a little bit about the water deluge system. Agency is the village getting says is the village getting evacuated? Will Mary evac. The village is not required to evacuate for these events, only for launches so far. But they did get an overpressure notice, which basically says to during a certain time period when the static fire could happen, that they should stand outside and not be around any glass or anything in case there was an overpressure event. But they don't have to evacuate. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the water deluge system. Make sure this other camera is still live. Yep. All right, so for anybody that watched the first launch of Starship and then maybe haven't been keeping up as much, or you just don't exactly know what we mean when we're talking about the water deluge system, I'll try to give you a little bit of a rundown. So after the first launch, or during the first launch of Starship fully integrated flight, there was what is called a rock tornado, or I guess that's what we're calling it now. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that happen, but basically the pad underneath the rocket broke up into lots of different pieces, and large pieces of rock and debris and sand got shot in all sorts of different directions, damaging probably the rocket and spreading debris far and wide. That wasn't what was expected to happen, and it isn't supposed to be that way at all. So they've had to figure out what they can do to resolve that issue. A lot of rockets use a water deluge system, which basically is just like millions and millions of gallons of water being sprayed out underneath the rocket in order to dampen the vibrations, dampen the sound, suppress fire kinda, but more for vibration. And that type of stuff. This water deluge system is different though. So they've installed a new setup, and it's a steel pancake. They call it a steel pancake. It's 2 pieces of steel with lots of really small, actually not that small, but all of these holes in it. Excuse me. And they force lots and lots of water through the steel pancake and up, like kind of like an upside down shower head. So this serves a couple purposes, but basically what they want to do is they want the steel plate to kind of take the brunt of all of that force and heat, but they want to keep that steel cool. That way they don't end up just damaging the heat shield or the deluge plate and having the same issue again. So they're going to be pumping a ton of water through this plate and up and over the plate to try to keep that plate cool while it's taking all the burden from those 33 Raptor 2 engines. So really cool. I got a great shot of it actually just a few days ago when they did the full pressure deluge test. So if you didn't see that, definitely check that out. That's on my YouTube channel. You can find that. So if you've seen static fires before, or you saw the launch, we kind of have an idea of what a Starship launch looks like when, or a static fire looks like when those engines ignite. We generally see that bright orange flash from the actual engines, and then we start to see some kind of orangish dirt, orange, grayish dirt from underneath the pad. And that's kind of what we've seen as far as the plume for these static fires and launches. But I think we're about to see something that looks very different from what we're used to, and that's because all of the water that's being shot up underneath the OLM in the rocket, a lot of that is going to boil or whatever the heck, vaporize and turn into water vapor. So if you've watched like space shuttle launches and that type of stuff, you'll see large white clouds coming out, like Falcon 9 as well. And I think we're going to see more of those white clouds in today's and future static fires as well. Not too dissimilar from the vapor we're seeing at the pad, but it will be more clouds bellowing out, which will be really, really cool. So as you can see, that vapor continues to grow around the pad as they are chilling all the lines and preparing everything for the static fire today. This is a prerequisite step before they actually start fueling the vehicle. Once we start seeing some of these venting slow down, then we should start to see the booster get frosty, which indicates that they're loading methane and liquid oxygen into the booster. And at that point, we know that we're getting closer to the static fire. We got a super chat from Isvan. Thank you so much for the super chat. They say thank you for the live, and from Hungary. No problem. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, Istvan. RGV is reporting that LOX load has begun, and so is A&C. So, guys, this is a great indication that we are getting closer to a static fire. So they need to load liquid oxygen into the bottom half of the booster and then methane into the top half of the booster. This should be a fairly considerable amount of fuel if they are really going for a 33 engine static fire. We don't know that for sure. But we're looking now for some frost lines growing towards the base of the booster and halfway up the booster. Again, some of this heat distortion is going to make it hard to see that. But once it gets real frosty, we will definitely be able to tell from this angle. Another super chat from Tour the Game. Tour the Game says, "Hi Andrew, Space Junkie community are watching you. Thank you for the stream. I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much, Tour the Game, for that super chat. Very, very much appreciate you. Again, everybody who has provided us, super chats or became members or anything today and any day, all of that money goes right back into the channel to be providing bigger and better content for all y'all. So I appreciate you very much for doing that. Thank you so much. Tour the Game, very much appreciated." Welcome, Tibi from Slovakia. A&C is reporting frost. We're seeing frost. Oh yeah, I might be able to see some frost on the bottom of the booster. Again, it's got a little bit hard to tell, but it'll become more and more obvious as it goes. Especially when they start loading the methane, we'll start seeing frost halfway up the booster, and that should be very obvious. I'm going to format the card that's in the camera that you're currently seeing, so I don't know if you're going to lose your visuals for a second. You may or may not, but I don't think so, but just a heads up if the screen goes black for a second or something, and it's expected. Camera will be back up in just a second. There it is. Todd says F. Should be back up now. Yeah, just was restarting it. I'm going to make one adjustment to the camera, so we might have a shaky cam for a second. Peekaboo is reporting that they can see the methane frost now on NASA spaceflight and Lab Padres cameras. So very, very good. PM says, why is nobody else live streaming this? There's a lot of people live streaming this. Or a few channels at least. Sorry, I got interrupted through my my camera adjustment, so I have a couple more to make. Alright, that's about good enough. Peekaboo is saying we're starting to see the frost lines from this perspective too. Very good. Jimatech says, by the way, Andrew, at the left side there's some machine noise when you switch to your mic, but it looks perfect. If you can minimize that somehow, that can be cool, but this time is not so necessary. That might be the Jeep, and I do plan to shut the Jeep off when static fire is imminent. If I can time it right, I'll shut the Jeep off. There are some other cars around me as well that we might hear, but that's fine. And can I ask for the static fire is happening? Can you switch to your mic? Oh, absolutely. We will certainly switch to your mic for the static fire. Welcome, Thomas. Welcome in. Yeah, you can certainly start to make out those frost lines now, especially on the methane tank. So if you look at the booster just above halfway up, you can see a white line growing. That is the methane being loaded into the vehicle. And if you look towards the bottom, you can see the bottom part of the booster now looks white, and that's from the liquid oxygen. These are very cold fuels and cryogenic fuels. So it kind of interacts with the atmosphere around the outside of the booster to condensate and frost up. The Hungarians are flooding the channel, absolutely. Welcome at Leah and welcome Marcos. All right, let me jump in front of the camera here and give y'all just an update of where we're at. So, like I said, we are starting to see those frost lines grow on the booster. So that is what we've been looking for. So liquid oxygen and methane have started to being loaded into the vehicle. So we're kind of just in this fueling state now. We'll continue to see how far those frost lines grow. We don't exactly know how much fuel and propellant they're going to be loading into the vehicle today. But they're actually making some pretty quick progress at it. So I would say that we're a good ways through it. So once we kind of see the line settle in and not really grow on both the LOX and the methane tanks, then we know we're getting really close to that static fire. Like I said, there is community members over at the Boca Chica village in that area, NASA space flight, Mary, and I think Jack's over there and stuff today. And they usually hear the siren that goes off roughly about 10 minutes before they actually do the static fire. So we're going to keep checking in with the community to see if those folks have heard that siren at some point. So if y'all are also tuned into NSF or something and you hear anything about a siren, please let me know. That way we can be fully prepared, and I'll shut off the vehicle and all that good stuff. So so we're making really good progress here, folks. We should see the static fire relatively soon. Quite a bit of liquid oxygen in there. Thank you, Stephanie. Welcome, Stephanie, and thank you for being a mod on the channel. Yeah, we when at all possible, definitely English is preferred in the channel, just so we can keep it safe and moderate. Obviously, if there's folks speaking languages we don't fully understand, then folks could be saying some bad things and we won't ever know. So we do like to keep the channel English as possible. That being said, any of you Hungarian and Space Junkie folks, if you want to say hi in your native language and that type of stuff, that is perfectly okay. No worries. But outside of saying hey and what's up and all that stuff, English is definitely preferred. And thank you for that reminder, Stephanie B. I appreciate you. Ooh, Andres is gifting 5 Rocket Future memberships. Thank you so much, Andres. I really, really appreciate that. That is very generous of you. If anybody was just gifted a membership from Andres, make sure you thank them. I appreciate that very much. That means a lot, and like I said, that's going to go right back into making the channel bigger and better. So thank you very much. I really appreciate those gifted memberships. Aiden is reporting that SpaceX is going live. Very good. Let me switch over to the other mic here. And if somebody could tell me how far out they are when SpaceX officially goes live. Oh, actually, they're going live in 35, so we got a half hour. Yep. There you go. I'm going to double check that, but it should be accurate. No problem. Yeah, so I'm looking at the SpaceX YouTube channel right now. They have a live event scheduled for 32 minutes from now. So we should see this thing happen in the next 30 to 45 minutes. I'll jump in front of the camera just to show y'all. I mean to update. So yeah, SpaceX just posted their live stream. They should be going live in about 32, 35 minutes. Sometimes sometimes they'll schedule it for a certain time, and then sometimes they'll go live a few minutes earlier or a few minutes late. So I would say a safe bet is definitely around 30 to 45 minutes from the actual static fire. That being said, we never know what kind of things that they're going to run into during the countdown that could delay it slightly. So we've been at this point in this process before, and then it has turned out to be another hour or two or whatever. But I don't necessarily expect that today. I think hopefully this will be a nice clean countdown for the static fire, and we should be good to go here and within this hour for sure, as long as everything goes well. Space Girl Falcon, thank you for being a mid-bay member on the channel. Again, Space Girl Falcon, we appreciate your support so much here. Thank you, thank you. All right, sounds good. Yep. Yeah, let me know what you think after. Let's see. We're chatting with people. Methane loading has finished. LOX loading continues. Oxygen tank is half full, says Attila. So that should be about as much as it gets today. Hi from Hungary, says Polygon. However, the methane tank does not fill as quickly. Very true. Welcome in, everybody. If you're just joining us, we are not too far away from a static fire. Let me get you an update on the timeline. SpaceX's stream is set to begin in 22 minutes. So I would say our static fire here is, let's give some buffer time in case they start early or something. I would say anywhere in the next 20 to 40 minutes is a good bet on a timeline. Now, when they do go live, there'll probably be another countdown clock, and that'll tell us exactly when this thing's going to be. Melissa's here. Says, great view from your neighbor. Welcome, Melissa Pribble. All right, I'm going to sit in the AC here for 5 minutes, but I'm going to keep up with chat while I do that. All right. Hold on. "20 minutes until SpaceX starts their broadcast." Welcome, Mrs. Ad Astra. Melissa is saying, one step closer to the next launch. That is very, very true. Yeah, look how frosty the bottom half of Booster 9 is. No welcome, Peter. I mean, I said no welcome. No problem, Peter. LOX load continues, methane doesn't. Makes sense. We are just about passing 1:50 Central Time. So I'm going to hedge a guess here. If the SpaceX stream starts in just under 20 minutes, that'll bring us to 2:10. So I would guess we're probably looking at a 2:15 to 2:30 T0 time. El Hungaro with the super chat saying, "This is the name of all space junkies to Andrew." Thank you very much, El Hungaro. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. I'm seeing some venting coming from the booster. Again, thank you so much, El Hungaro, for that super chat. And thank you all to the Space Junkie community. I appreciate you all very much for stopping in and hanging out here with us. And I hope you're able to enjoy this test. Looks like it's well over half on the LOX. Absolutely, definitely. It is looking real good. I see Starship Gazer out here as well. Hanging out and getting ready for some beautiful, beautiful shots of the static fire. Continuing to see some more venting coming from the booster. That is expected. I would not worry about that. Wow, it's looking real good. I'm going to have to remember after the static fire to zoom out so we can see the plume. Yeah, so let's see. SpaceX's broadcast is supposed to start exactly at 2:08, and then my guess is maybe a 2-minute intro, 2:10, and then I wonder if it'll be a 5-minute countdown from there, or a 10-minute, or longer. We'll find out in about 13 minutes from now. I have to update my my little Nightbot message about Twitter. To update that to say X, I guess. Oh, this air conditioning feels great. Excuse me. Melissa is seeing some venting. I am as well. Let me try to zoom in a little bit more here. Yeah, it's definitely hotter than 96. That is for sure. Interesting tweet just now from the Everyday Astronaut. Y'all know Everyday Astronaut. He says, just as a point of reference, there were 70 days between SpaceX's Booster 7's 33-engine static fire and launch. If Booster 9 completes a successful static fire today and things look good, I would expect a launch to be under 70 days. I definitely agree with that sentiment, with, of course, with the exception of the things that SpaceX isn't super in control of, like the FAA and all that jazz. But that is a great point. Yep, SpaceX is expected to go live in 10 minutes, so we should be getting very, very close. Very true. Very true, Melissa. I do think there's a chance it might take longer, though, just based off of the rest of the stuff that needs to come together. But I won't be surprised if they get it done quicker too. More venting coming from Booster 9. How many have I said Booster 7 a bunch of times? It's just so hard not to. Tiffany says, let's go. So excited to see a static fire test. I'm right there with you, Tiffany. Very, very excited. We should be closing in on a static fire here in the next 10 to 20 minutes, I would think. Maybe 30, but we'll have to wait to see what SpaceX says when they go live. Melissa says, I agree, but I know Elon enough to know he won't pump the brakes on this project unless forced. That is 100% true. You know, if there's any delays, we know that they won't be, they won't be due to SpaceX. They would be due to exterior forces, or obviously if something goes wrong with a test or something. But you're definitely right about that. You are definitely right. Very, very true. Six minutes and 30 seconds until the SpaceX stream starts. And then I got to remember to hit record on my camera, flip the other microphone on and make that active, hit record on that on the laptop, and make that on OBS as well. Yeah, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, comments on his own post after Zach from CSI comments just about certifications and stuff, and Tim also agrees that the FTS certification could be the factor of when this thing actually finally gets off the ground. SpaceX livestream is expected to start in 5 minutes. SpaceX also tweeted out, folks, we have a SpaceX tweet saying SpaceX Starbase team prepping for Booster 9 static fire today. Live views will begin a few minutes prior to ignition. I'm not exactly sure what a few minutes will mean, but we should expect that once this live stream starts, we should only be a few minutes out. All right, I'm going to start making some moves here, folks, and getting things ready. We'll jump in front of the camera and give folks an update here. All right, everybody, if you're just joining us, my name is Andrew, and this is Rocket Future. Welcome. SpaceX's live stream starts in about 3 minutes. So once they go live, they'll have like a T-0 clock, and that will give us a good indication of how far we are out from seeing this static fire here today. But my guess is we're probably 10 or 15 minutes from the actual firing itself, but SpaceX will validate that for us shortly. So what do we expect to see here today? We expect to see large, basically fire coming out of the bottom of Booster 9, and we're gonna expect to see a new type of plume coming out from the pad because of that water deluge system that we expect to be using today. So I think we're going to see some beautiful, beautiful white puffy clouds. This is going to be really interesting. I'm actually very, very curious how different this is going to look. So that being said, let me switch you back over to full 4K, the camera rather, and we're going to I'm going to start hitting record and getting everything going here. Ryan is reporting that we have over 100 people watching right now. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Help the channel grow and help more folks like you find out about this channel. The more people that interact with this stream, the more people that YouTube will probably suggest it to. So we appreciate your support so much. Everybody's support has been great today. Thank you so much for all the donations, super chats, memberships, and all that good stuff. We should be getting it pretty dang close. 2 minutes? Oh, so it's probably going to go like right now. I'm going to switch over to the other camera. All right, let's go, guys. Yeah, that was short. That was a short static fire. It looks like maybe we had an issue with the mic, says Jimatech, but no worries. I also recorded it, so we'll see how the actual recorded version sounds. But let's zoom out so y'all can see that. That seemed really short. Not sure if that was what they expected or if they wanted a longer static fire. But we should get confirmation from SpaceX not too long from now if it was good indeed. But that was a very short static fire. But for all we know, that could be what they intended to do today. The water deluge definitely changed the look of those clouds coming around the pad. That was really cool. I'm very curious to see how it held up. Let's see if we get any words from SpaceX shortly. Super chat from Denny's. Thanks for the stream. Go Rock Future. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all very much. Thank you so much for that super chat. So yeah, that was loud. That was pretty loud, but it was short. If anybody is tuning into the SpaceX stream, let me know if they're saying anything about that being nominal. Four engines shut down prematurely, we're hearing. Maybe they'll try for another one. Yeah. Get the Jeep back on so we don't overheat. Noel reporting that the pad is looking clean. Well, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. They just did a static fire a couple minutes ago. Yeah, it seemed really short, so I think something probably didn't go right. So they probably did a shorter than they expected, but no longer or anything like that. So, probably most likely not. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Nope. Those are Raptor engines. Yeah. So I pretty much just read all this stuff. So there's different Twitter accounts to follow and stuff. And SpaceX tweets out about when they're going to do some stuff like this too sometimes. But I've just been following the progress for so long. We knew that was going to happen. So I just kind of hints and stuff. Yeah. So supposedly probably 33 of the engines were tried to. They tried to ignite 33 of the engines. I guess 4 of them shut down prematurely or something. So yeah, that was actually the sound from those engines. Yeah. Oh. No way to explain it. Like, it still feels fake. It feels crazy. Yeah. Insane. No problem. Yep. So it sounds like they did try to go for the 33. Pad. Oh, there we go. My mic cut out a little bit there. So yeah, they went for 33. 4 shut down. Pad looks clean. Did they say if the static fire was cut short or anything, or if?
No, they said 33 engines and 4
Premature shutdown.
So I'm thinking they all ignited, but
Yeah.
4 shut down real quick.
Yeah. You know, I'm wondering if they were going for a longer duration, and because the 4 shut down, they cut it. But we have seen static fires that short that have turned out to be good. But I feel like lately they've been a bit longer, like 4 or 5 seconds, and occasionally we get long ones. But
They could have went for the short one because they didn't know how that water cooled.
very good point. Yep.
They didn't damage it.
Yep.
Because if that water wasn't there, I think it would just melt right through that.
Yeah.
They're offloading, so I think that's it for today.
Yep. Makes sense. Probably. Cool.
Unfortunately for us.
They
Yep.
already shut down the roster.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't stay long. This is your information. Bye.
Cool.
Well, it was nice meeting you.
Yeah, you as well.
Following you.
I appreciate it. If you ever see me next time, come on and say hi.
Reminds me of me as a kid growing up in California.
Oh yeah, that must have been cool.
Sonic airplanes.
Oh yeah.
Me and my brother heard.
Oh, that's awesome. I love planes and rockets.
Oh, yeah.
See y'all. Andy Smith says, or gives a flexing emoji. Nick says, go Starship. Pad looks clean, says Noel. Timothy Weary says, need a little liftoff. Data was half. Just pleased to see some launch pad action again. The flight director has not mentioned it yet. That was a whole lot of steam. Yeah, the steam was super cool. I really liked seeing that. It was very quick. That steam plume expanded absolutely, like very, very fast. It was really cool to see. So, folks, I'm not gonna take the camera down right away. We'll leave it up for just a little bit to make sure everything has been saved. So, if there's any other questions or anything, excuse me, feel free to drop those in the chat. Ended up being a 29 engine static fire, 4 shut down during the test. 2.74 second duration. Very cool, very cool. Noel just watched it again, said it was awesome. Very, very good. Let me jump in front of the camera here. All right. So we just saw a static fire of Booster 9. I feel like the camera kind of got bumped out of place a little bit. So yeah, that was a static fire. It ended up being, I think, just over 2.7 seconds. Somebody I was just talking to said on the live stream that they were aiming for 5 seconds. I would have to go back and listen to it just to make sure that's accurate. But if that's the case, when they saw those 4 premature shutdowns, maybe the static fire automatic aborted, or they chose to abort early, or maybe really they were just going for that duration. So we're not sure. We'll hear more about it for sure. Very curious about what they'll turn out to be for the early shutdowns of those 4 engines. So I'm gonna keep an eye on SpaceX's Twitter and all that stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Raptor platform going up tonight under the OLM. So we'll have to wait and see there. But I think they're probably detanking, so that's probably it for today. There's a road closure tomorrow. I think the chances of seeing another static fire tomorrow are unlikely. Not impossible, but probably unlikely. But I'll keep y'all informed about that. Make sure you're following on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. All of the socials are The Rocket Future. So check that out, and I'll make sure I post any updates that I hear about this, or I'll repost what has been said by SpaceX. But thanks everybody who stopped in here today. I'll leave the camera up again for another 5 minutes or so just to make sure that everything is safe and good. Huge support from the community today. Thank you all for the gifted subs, the super chats, the super stickers, just being here. Thanks for the chats and just having some conversation while we waited to see this thing happen. Really means a lot, so thank you so much. I want to check my mic just to make sure that y'all are actually hearing me right now. Yep. So yeah. that's it for the kind of major portion of the stream. I'll leave these views up just for a little bit longer, but thank you everybody so much. I will do another kind of sign off shortly when I actually close up stream, and I want to make sure I thank everybody specifically for their super chats and everything today. So, all right, I'm gonna start breaking things down that aren't super essential to the stream, and we'll go from there. No problem, Jim Attack, and I'll let you know how that recording comes out. See if it has issues or if it sounds good, and we'll figure out what's going on there. Thanks for hanging out and stream today. I appreciate that. Hey folks, and even if they determine that this static fire was not what they needed to fully vet this booster, at least we got the data for the water deluge and how well that worked. So that should be really cool to hear about. I'm actually really excited to hear how the steel pancake held up. So that's one really cool thing that they'll get from today's test, and obviously the data for why those engines stopped early. That'll be important for them. it going? Sounds good, man. Sounds good. All right, I'm going to break down the mic here. So before I do, let me go through here and thank everybody. Again, thanks everybody who just hung out with us here today. But extra special thank you to Todd Bernal for the membership, El Hungaro for the super sticker, Space Girl Falcon for the super chat, Istvan for the super chat, Andres for the 5 gifted memberships. Again, Andres, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that very much. I'm sure those community members who got the gifted memberships appreciate that as well. Space Girl Falcon for the membership. El Hungaro for the another super chat. Denny's for the super chat. Thank you all so much. I very much appreciate it. Fire Action Operators, what's happening? Fire Action, there was a static fire just a little while ago. That is over at this point, and it went decent, but it didn't go perfect. I think some engines shut down early and stuff. So we'll hear more about that, but more importantly, it looks like the steel pancake and the water deluge worked pretty well, so that's great. Tunde says, thanks, Andrew. Your work is great. I appreciate that very much. Okay, so I'm breaking down the mic now. My commentary is over. The live stream and views will stay up for another couple minutes while I'm breaking things down. But thanks, everybody. Appreciate you very much. We'll talk to you soon. My name is Andrew. Peace out.